Good day, friends. Hi, I am Attorney Reagan, and I am also a certified public accountant. And today I am tasked to have a short discussion about RA 12023, or imposing the VAT on digital services, which took effect last June 2 of 2025. So, this will be a very quick and basic discussion for basic knowledge. First off, I want to emphasize that all the discussions today are based or taken from these three main sources. Number one, of course, is the law itself, RA number 12023, imposing the VAT on digital services. Next is Revenue Regulation 003 2025, which is the revenue regulation of RA number 12023, and RMC 47 2025. Now, a very short summary sa effects of this law. Basically, this law states that gross sales of digital service providers are now generally liable for VAT at 12%. This means na more expensive na yung subscriptions natin from Canva, ChatGPT, Netflix, and etc. Another effect of this small law is that more hassle for business owners. There is a new tax return to file if you are using digital service providers. And of course, as mentioned earlier, the effectivity of this law is June 2 of 2025. Now, before we start, I think it's good to discuss some terminologies para you can better understand some terms we will be using during our presentation. So number one, digital services. Service that is supplied over the internet or other electronic network. It shall include but not limited to online search engine, cloud service, online platforms, digital goods, online market or e-marketplace. Next, we have digital service provider or DSP. Refers to either a resident or non-resident supplier of digital services to a buyer who uses digital services subject to VAT in the Philippines. And of course, non-resident DSPs refers to a digital service provider that has no physical presence in the Philippines, like Spotify, ChatGPT, and etc. Now, the main point of this law is that there are two types of transactions under this new law. Number one is business to customer transactions, and number two is business to business transaction. Business to customer transaction. These are your normal persons in the Philippines using subscriptions for personal needs and not in connection with trade or business. Example, using Netflix sa bahay nyo, using Google Drive and ChatGPT subscriptions para sa mga hobby nyo. The effect for business to customer transaction is that it will be just more expensive. Prices will increase by 12%, or that is the VAT. So if you notice, for June, there have already been reminders for Netflix and etc. of the price increase due to the VAT here in the Philippines. Now, under the revenue regulation, here is a basic discussion of the B2C, the VAT treatment of cross-border business-to-customer transactions. In a B2C transaction, where the consumer buyer, again, this is the important one, not engage in trade or business, the NRDSP or the non-resident digital service provider shall be directly liable. Sila na yung magfa-file electronically of the VAT returns. Sila na yung magpe-pay sa VAT due. Okay? So wala nang gagawin yung customer. So for a much better understanding, here's a example. Mr. A working for Corporation A as a full-time accountant. So full-time accountant si Mr. A for Corporation A. During working hours, A likes to listen to Spotify. So he availed of Spotify Premium for 100 pesos per month exclusive of VAT. What are the filing obligations of Mr. A under RA number 12023? The answer, nothing. Why? Mr. A will just pay Spotify premium subscription of 100 pesos plus 12% VAT. This is because A is not engaged in trade or business. And the transaction of this example is considered as a business to customer transactions. Okay? Again, we go back, not engage in trade or business. So wala nang gagawin. So the customer here will just pay the one example here is $112. Will pay it directly sa non-resident VAT register DSP. and sila na yung magre-remit sa BIR. Okay? That's business to customer transactions. Wala, price increase lang talaga yung effect sa taxpayer. Now, we go to the second type of transaction, business to business transaction. These are persons engage in trade or business in the Philippines that uses such software in the conduct of their business. Example would be using ChatGPT in your business or using Canva sa business nyo for marketing ads and etc. So there are two effects. First is, of course, more expensive because you add 12% to the price. And added hassle. The business owner here in the Philippines is the one liable. Sila yung magre-remit sa 12% VAT. Hindi yung NRDSPs. Or hindi si Spotify, hindi si YouTube, hindi si ChatGPT. Pero, yung customer na nag-subscribe. Okay? So, here's an example. Registered business avails of digital service. For example, Google. Contract price is $112. Yung babayaran ni registered business is only $100. What happens to the 12%? Si registered business yung magre-remit kay BIR sa 12%. Okay? So the non-resident VAT registered DSP will be the one to file, pero yung payment will be withheld by the business here in the Philippines and remitted to the BIR. This is what we call, I think, the reverse charge mechanism. It can be found in the Revenue Memorandum Circular. So, added hassle talaga sa business owners. So, example, Mr. A is a non-VAT registered taxpayer in the Philippines, providing bookkeeping services for various clientele. Mr. A avails of Google Workspace subscription with Google to manage his email, the email of his staff kasi may mga staff siya, and also a domain name to make his email more professional. The subscription is 1,000 exclusive of VAT for the month of June 2025. What are the filing obligations of Mr. A under RA number 12023? Again, here, A is a registered taxpayer in the Philippines providing bookkeeping services. So he is engaged in trade or business. Now, this is a business-to-business transaction. Why? Because Mr. A is doing bookkeeping services and is using the subscription in connection with his business. Okay? Mr. A will pay 1,000 to Google as payment for his subscription. Hindi yung 1,000 plus VAT. Diba? So, hindi 1,112. But, he will pay only 1,000 because the 12% will be withheld by Mr. A. And he will be the one to remit it to the BIR. Okay? So, total price, 1,000 plus 12%, pero yung ibabayad ni business owner will only be 1,000 kasi he will remit the 12% and he will be the one to submit it to the BIR. So, Mr. A will use BIR form 16,000 VT. 1600 VT. Deadline of which is the 10th day of the following month when the withholding tax was made. The same deadline with 0619E or withholding tax on expanded withholding tax and withholding tax on compensation 1601C. Since there is no quarterly return for 1600 VT, the attachment of the monthly 1600 VT is the monthly alpha list of payees, which is to be submitted in e-submission at br.gov.ph. Okay? So dito, we can see that added hassle and added requirement for the small business owners. Okay? Reminder, by default, NRDSPs will classify you as a customer. Okay? So, when you have services like Google Workspace, etc., Google will automatically classify you as a customer and not a business not until you provide them your TIN of your business. Okay? Here's an example snapshot of my Google Workspace. So, dito, it says that if you're registered for VAT in the Philippines, Google charges VAT unless you provide us with your Philippine tax identification. Because if you provide them and Google will know na you are a business, you are a taxpayer engaged in trade or business in the Philippines and using the subscription, then you will be the one or the business owner will be the one liable to remit the 12% VAT portion of the price to the BIR. Okay? So remember, input your Philippine TIN in the tax information of your profile to tell the NRDSPs that you are using the subscription for business. So we do not know yet the consequences of failure to do that. One thing I can think of is that baka i-disallow yung expenses mo because you did not register as a person engaged in trade or business, or because you did not provide your TIN. Number one is that even if nag-remit na si Google, but then since you are liable for the 12%, ikaw yung hahabulin ni BIR. Again, all speculation. It depends. It's still a very fresh law. There's still no assessments about this. So we will have to wait in the future years. What would the effect of non-filing of 16 OVT and just be treated as a customer? So again, that was a very short discussion of 160 this very short discussion of RA 12023, and we hope that you learned a lot despite of its shortness. Yun yung goal namin, bite-sized information so that you will learn. So I hope that you will like and subscribe to our channel so that we can be able to provide you more free videos about taxes, accounting, etc. So of course, our upcoming videos is actual filing of the 1600 VT and how to file the monthly alpha SOPs. And next is accounting basics for non-accountants and small business owners. Here we discuss what is depreciation, how do you go about accounting even if you do not have accounting related subjects in your business, etc. And of course, a longer video would be deeper discussion on RA number 12023. Okay? So, thank you for staying until the end of the video, and I hope you do like and subscribe to our channel.